you go. You see him definitely crying, okay? Tears coming down his eyes. And you definitely see him a little angry about that Lazarus is dead. Little strong emotion, sternness, displeasure. But I want to say, let's not jump to conclusions about things, because then we can miss part of what's going on here. I just want to say, well, let's slow this down before we assume that Jesus already had totally thought about how he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead. I don't think that's necessarily true. We experience things sequentially. Yes, sometimes many things together, but it happens one thing after the other. I believe the fact that Jesus was deeply moved, angry, displeased that his friend was dead, that's what moved him to ask the Father to raise him from the dead. And then it says, he says right there, I know you heard me, but I'm saying this for those who are hearing. And that's a different part we could talk about. But bottom line, I believe this is exactly what he was experiencing, was what moved him. Then, knowing he was the Son of God, knowing the Father with no doubt about who he is, knowing the Father can raise people, knowing the Father can do miracles, I believe that's what moved him to raise Lazarus from the dead. And God the Father agreed. There you go. And so I believe all that he's experiencing is what, and then his faith and his total knowing and who he was and what God could do, that together is why Lazarus was raised from the dead. That's how it's coming out to me, even as I studied this today. I've read this many times, heard sermons about it many times, but that's what I see here. So let's not say, well, he still cried, even though he knew he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead. You know, it doesn't say that there, so let's not assume that. You know, so why did he cry? I heard one reason recently that maybe he cried because they didn't have the faith that he could be raised from the dead. Maybe. What do you think? I'd be happy to hear what you think in the comments, okay? Always open to that. But bottom line, what are we saying here? What definitely happened here? What definitely does this show? Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus is God. And he wept. He cried. And he had deep anger and displeasure and indignation even maybe, and sternness and deep compassion. And he also was stirred up and disturbed and agitated. Okay? That's a lot of emotions. I have a list of emotions, and a bunch of those are on my list.